The one thing is that Namor is actually, he is the only thing on Earth outside of Thor that can keep up with Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't, in the MCU, we really don't have like a really good hierarchy of power sources because the Hulk can really beat the trash out of anybody. Well, now the Hulk's been to therapy, so there's no reason for him to beat the trash out of anybody anymore, because now he's just a source of comedy. That's all he is. And so we're never going to see the monster hunting that we grew up with in the 80s
Mm-hmm.
of seeing the Hulk. So we're never going to see a situation where Namor and Hulk will be able to go toe to toe. There was one TikTok that we've seen where somebody said, a fan of the movies, okay, not of the comics, is a big difference. A fan of the movies said that why is Wakanda rendered to be so weak when it seems like anybody like the Hulk could even take them out. And I don't think people in the movie that we were given, we were not able to see the exact massive resources that Namor has. If Namor has been able to, the fact that we call him Namor, and in the movie, that's how his enemies know him. We are not his friends. So if we're using the word Namor, we are automatically his enemy. Okay.
Namor.
Exactly, and it was just like it's the idea that like he controls everything, and to the point where he controls what name you use. Okay, he controls how you talk about him. Okay, and I feel like that was not given enough time and space in the movie, because the comparison is T'Challa, who would be willing to share his resources and his technology and things like that. Namor, not so much with the sharing, okay? He has seen what humanity does. He's seen what the surface does. T'Challa has seen it too. His family's been affected by it. And he still chooses to help people out because that is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
The accurate
They have a different moral center.
Exactly. So with Namor is like of the opinion that I feel like Namor is what Magneto should have been in the original movie, in the original X-Men movies, even more so. And the fact that he does such a 360, I'm sorry, he does such a 180 at the end of the movie. The audience is also sitting with Namora, who doesn't really understand why he is suddenly flip-flopped. Mm-hmm. The whole speech that he gives at the end is completely accurate. That's how it should have ended. It's completely 100% correct. We just don't have enough time to believe it because we've been spending literally an hour and 45 minutes being told that Namor is nothing but this bad, horrible dude who's going to fuck you up. Namor is also the guy that keeps promises. When he told Queen that he was going to kill her if something happened, that he kept his promise. He totally killed her. And then the thing is with Namor is that he also did what came out of Troy. There's nothing in that movie between anything Black Panther related or anything Namor related that did not happen in the Iliad. Namor gives a week for to have funeral and to bury your dead. And again, the whole death ceremony thing, that was a huge theme in there. And it was just like weaved in through without even really noticing it. And there was also the idea, Priam did that or Priam was allowed to do that. And Achilles was like that too. When Shuri fucks up Namor's ankle, at the end, it totally grounds him as a consequence of their fight. And she uses the entire country of Wakanda and even some of Talokan against Namor. She threw the entire earth at him to get him to, and she barely scratched him. So, but the other thing too is that I wanted to mention is that something else that was like completely left out of the critical reviews of the movie is that in the first movie, in the previous movie, the music was completely different. The music was something. I mean, Kendrick Lamar had just gotten a Pulitzer for his album for poetry and jazz and so forth, for that Pulitzer. But this album was completely world music, and you never heard it anywhere. And when I say world music, I'm talking like what George Harrison brought with Wonderwall, okay, and that was a huge thing. And then they struggled again with bringing in the Mayan language and I don't know whose idea was to do that, but one of the things that really, okay, I hope this makes everyone. This is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna say. But one of the things that I really liked about Namor is that he was like, he literally played, he was the Godfather, okay? Namor kept his promises. He never, he never lied to anybody. If the promise was violence, that's what you got, was violence. If everyone in his kingdom was his child. Okay, there was a scene where M'Baku talks about how we all need to respect the fact that all of his people treat him as a god. Okay, that's like when anybody went to war against England when the Elizabeth I was there. Nobody fucked with England for the most part without having to take into account that every single English person is going to fight to the death for the Queen because she's next to God. Okay, she just had that luck about her. Okay, and Namor knew how to do that. And Namor is like, but even though Namor is like that, Shuri was competing with that in her own way. And I feel that even though Angela Bassett is going to get the Oscar for the scene where she talks about how she's just lost all of her family, and everyone in the room needs to, fess up that they sided with Killmonger in the first movie, except for her. She's the only one in that room that didn't. Mm-hmm. Okay? She is going to get the Oscar, or she deserves the Oscar, for the scene where she tells Shuri at the end, show him who you are. Mm-hmm. And that was like, I wish like I said, I wish it was a TV show. I could watch that all day in, day out. It was a great funeral thing. I think there were some other things that there were some big misses. Like I said, the shoehorning of some characters in there. We didn't have enough time to really appreciate some of the things about Tulukan and Wakanda. Namor's been drowning cities since the 30s, since the beginning, so that's not new. But I also would have liked to have seen more of the creatures of the deep that Namor can find, because Namor is in control of all that Cthulhu crap down there. We haven't seen any of that yet.